I once tried my hand at planting a lemon tree. It was told to me that it was not a difficult citrus tree to grow. I did everything according to the book, and for 5 years I watched and waited patiently for this tree which I had planted and tended to produce the lemons it was designed to produce. Once a day, on inspection of this lemon tree that I had planted, which looked nothing like a lemon tree, I saw to my amazement the budding of fruit on the deformed branches. When it was finally ready to produce, that year it produced a bumper group of lemons. In fact, I had to prop it up to enable to carry its load of fruit. However, the next year, with excitement in my heart, I watched and waited. There was no budding, no fruit. In fact, that was the last time it had ever produced fruit. No matter how much I attended to the needs of the lemon tree, it never produced another lemon. This reminds me of a similar story found in the Bible. A farmer had a similar experience with an almond tree. It refused to become a fruit-bearing almond tree. One day, a young man passes the tree. Upon looking at the dried-out tree, he saw the shape of this dried-out almond tree, which made him a perfect staff. The almond tree was never designed to be a staff. Its design was to be a fruit-bearing tree for its farmer. When God looks at our life, He never sees it as we see it. We might feel like a dried-out almond tree, useless in bearing fruit, but one day that dried-out almond stick found itself thrown into a group of other dried-out sticks. To its amazement, the next day, the dried-out almond tree was no longer a dried-out stick, but a nourished almond tree that refused to bear fruit when it was in the ground, but now in God's presence, found itself covered in leaves it never had in the ground. But not only leaves, it was full of blossoms, and in between the blossoms, full ripe almonds. I know that many of you can relate to this story. You might feel dry, barren, fruitless, but like Aaron's rod, once placed in God's presence, you can become part of His chosen royal priesthood. Today, why don't you place yourself at the feet of His presence, allowing God to change your life from a dry, barren, fruitless life to a fruit-bearing life.